Yo, this is Set with Set Media, man. I'm here to talk to you about our partner, Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest legal prediction market in the United States with over 1 million users. It's available in all 50 states. They are a real money market. People trading on what they think will happen. You can build a position and trade in and out of almost any prediction you think. Kalshi facilitates trade between people kind of like the stock market. There's no limiting your trades just because you're winning. Kalshi will pay you interest on your position. So if you make a long-term trade, you can earn a return even before the market is resolved. If you want to try out Kalshi, go ahead and give them a try, guys, at my link, kalshi.com/setmedia. Get $20 when you trade 20, so it's 20 for 20, guys. Once again, that's kalshi.com/setmedia. Go ahead and use my code setmedia to get $20 when you trade 20. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Kalshi, because like I said, it is a trading market where you can put in your prediction and you can go ahead and earn interest on that. You can make money off the knowledge that you know, and if you put $20 in, you get $20 back. So all right, guys, make sure to go check out my guy Kalshi, because you can get in on good trades like who will Trump nominate as Fed chair, will Ali Khamenei be outed as the supreme leader, and will the U.S. confirm that aliens exist before 2027. So if you want to get in on this action, once again, go ahead and go to my partners at Kalshi. Go ahead and use the link, or you can hit the QR code above and use Set Media to go ahead and get $20 when you trade 20. This is Set from Set Media, and shout out to Kalshi. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get right back into it with Trump taking questions at his last cabinet meeting. Let's not forget to go ahead and double tap that screen, and let's go ahead and get right back into it.
A strange thing happened, but anyway, go ahead, Brent.
Well, good to see you too. Actually, good to see the car cabinet doing one. Good to see you too. You talked about gas prices coming down.
Yeah.
Obviously, they will. But would you ever consider suspending the federal gas tax in order to kind of temporarily alleviate some?
Well, some people should do that. As an example, in California, every time prices go down, his prices go up, because they the gas tax is bigger than the tax itself, bigger than the product itself. It hasn't. I mean, we've thought about it, I guess, but honestly, when I did this, I knew it was going to be a little bit. We had the greatest economy ever. We had the greatest stock market in history. I said, we're going to take a little bit of a hit, a short-term hit. It's going to end up going much higher than it was, in my opinion. I said we're going to have a great stock market. Nobody thought we could get to 50,000 or 7,000 in the respective indices. Nobody thought that was going to happen, but it did in the first year. They said it couldn't happen in 4 years, that you wouldn't hit 50 in 4 years, but you could maybe get close. We hit it in the first year. And I said, this is a good time to solve a problem that you had to solve. And that's what I did. But the gas tax, people have talked about it. It's something we have in our pocket if we think it's necessary.
And if I can follow real quickly, you just recently took off, Secretary Duffy, 17,000 truckers off the road that quite frankly could not speak English, which is a safety issue.
Yeah.
Could we ever extend that to Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, cab drivers, for someone who takes a lot of Ubers, a lot of my drivers?
Oh, well, that's not good. I didn't like that. Go ahead, John.
So that's a really good point. The problem is that our states are the ones that issue these licenses. So with commercial driver's licenses, we do have some federal control. But again, we have thousands of people who can't speak the language, long-standing rule, and it's a safety issue, right? If you can't understand road signs, if you can't communicate with law enforcement when you're pulled over and communicate what's on your rig, huge problem. But the last administration, Mr. President, they let truck driving schools self-certify that they were qualified to train truck drivers. And so this is like the Leering Center. So you pay $800 and you get a certificate that you passed a CDL driving school, and again, they have no skills. They don't have the knowledge, and they don't have the skills. They haven't gone through any of the testing. And then they get licenses, and they're killing Americans on our roads. So it's remarkable, the rot that the last administration allowed to take place. We are ending that, and I need partnership with our states. Even California started to come on board. Even Gavin has started to play ball with us, which is surprising. Not all the way, a little bit of ball.
Mr. President,
You know, it's interesting because I just saw something that the nursing home business and the daycare centers in particular, they went out and inspected them in Minnesota, and they didn't exist. They're knocking on the door. He happens to be a young man, Nick, nice young man. He's done a very good job. They're knocking on doors. It's like homes, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of that. They didn't exist. And in California, it's worse. It's even worse. And I spoke with Russell Boat. I said, Russell, don't send them any money. He said, but we have a court order that we have to. Can you believe it? A judge. The judges are really hurting this country. Our judges, Justice Roberts doesn't like when I say it, but the judges are really hurting this country. And frankly, the justices, the Supreme Court, has really hurt our country too. Yeah.
Mr.
President, do you have a new deadline, given that there are some talks now? Do you have a new deadline before taking?
No, I'll announce it. I mean, right now, you're talking about a deadline for doing some pretty big damage, even bigger than we've done. We'll see. Well, look, we have very substantial talks going on with respect to Iran, with the right people. You know, I told you about a present, right? Steve, can I reveal the present?
You can do anything you want, sir.
They said to show you the fact that we're real and solid and we're there. We're going to let you have 8 boats of oil, 8 boats, 8 big boats of oil. This was 2 days ago. And they'll sail up tomorrow. That was 3 days ago. And I didn't think much about it. And then I watched the news, and they said, a very good anchor, actually, happened to be Fox. But I watched it, and he said, something's unusual happening. There are 8 boats that are going right up the middle of the Hormuz Strait. 8 big tankers are going loaded up with oil right through. And I said, well, I guess they were right, and they were real. And I think they were Pakistani flagged. And I said, well, I guess we're dealing with the right people. And actually, they then apologized for something they said, and they said, we're going to send 2 more boats. And it ended up being 10 boats. All right. I hope I haven't screwed up your negotiations, but I thought it was appropriate to say, because I did taunt you the other day by saying they're going to give us a present.
Mr.
And Yeah,
There were
please.
2 illegal immigrants who were arrested at San Francisco airport for ignoring deportation orders. At the same time, as you highlighted, really great reception from American travelers for ICE agents. Is there a PR aspect of this that can allow future deportations to go on with less protesting, less outrage?
Yeah, it's amazing, because by putting ICE there, look, the press was very unfair to ICE. So was everyone else. These are great American patriots. They have a tough job. They have to find murderers and take them out of our country. I wouldn't want to do it. You wouldn't want to do it. Most people wouldn't want to do it. They do it. And, 11,888 murderers. And that's murderers. That's not drug dealers. That's not lots of other things. It's not people from mental institutions. Entire jail populations were released from major countries and let into our country through the open border. And ICE has done an amazing job. I wouldn't want that job. It's a tough job, dangerous job. So what happens is, by putting them at the airport, and I just say, do me a favor, take off your masks. And they did. For that, not for when they're looking for some, cold-blooded killers and they're in the net, but for that. And they did. They took them off. And the passengers, I see the interviews of people, they're saying, these are nice people. One person said, he's a very strong man, But he's a nice guy. He grabbed my bag. He helped the woman with a bag that she couldn't lift. And I'll tell you, I don't want to use the word rehab because there was nothing to rehab, but rehab from the press, because the press is so tough on him. And these crooks in Minnesota, these crooked politicians and dirty cops. They're dirty cops, they're dirty politicians. Waltz is a dirty, crooked politician. The attorney general is a crooked guy. He's no investigations. And I hope JD is going to do a great job. He's in charge of it now with somebody who's very talented. But I think it's easy stuff. They say $19 billion, think of it, is missing. $19 billion. If we would solve half of the fraud problem, Pam, in this country, we would have more than a balanced budget. We'd have a surplus. And in the case of Minnesota, it's very Somalia oriented. Think of it. These people come from a crooked country, disgusting country, one of the worst countries in the world, acknowledged to be one of the worst countries in the world. Some people say it's the worst. They have no money. They have nothing. They come to our country, low IQs, and they rob us blind. Stupid people. And they rob us blind because we have crooked politicians and we have dirty cops. The attorney general is a dirty cop. It's my opinion. It's only my opinion. And something should be done about him. Let's see what kind of job you can do.
Yesterday you said that you hate mail-in ballots.
Excuse me?
Should Iran be able to charge a toll for the Strait of Hormuz? They're charging some vessels to go through.
Oh, yeah. Well, should they be able to? Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't be able to, but they're doing it a little bit. I don't know. Look, their capability is a lot less than it was 2 weeks ago. And with every week and every day, frankly, it gets less and less. All I can tell you is they're begging to make a deal. So let's see what happens. We may make it. Tell me about mail-in ballots. Go ahead. You mean I used the mail-in ballot? You probably said, yeah, I did.
Why did you
You know
use
what?
that?
Because I'm president of the United States. And because of the fact that I'm president of the United States, I did a mail-in ballot for elections that took place in Florida.
AKA I do what I
Because
want.
I felt I should be here instead of being in the beautiful sunshine
But you
taking.
were in Palm Beach, sir, the last few weekends.
That's right. And I
Did you
I
run in?
decided that I was going to vote by mail-in ballot because I couldn't be there because I had a lot of different things. But we have exceptions for mail-in ballots. You do know that, right? So if you're away, we have an exception. If you're in the military, we have an exception. If you're on a business trip, we have an exception. If you're disabled, we have an exception. And if you're ill, if you're not feeling good, whatever. So I was away, mostly in Washington, D.C., so I used a mail-in ballot. But I appreciate the question because I know it was so well-meaning. Yeah.
Mr. President, I actually just looked at the company that owns Sharpie and they stock turned positive after you mentioned it. Question number 8.
By the way, they deserve it.
Yeah, question number
It's a
8.
good product.
You gave a 5-day deadline. With oil tankers going through the Strait of Hormuz, is that a condition to move that 5-day deadline?
Well, we don't want anything impeded. We want ships to go through. We don't know that they've dropped any mines, by the way, because we blew up all their mine droppers, right? We blew up every one of them. They're going to have to take them out on a rowboat or something. I don't know how the hell they get out there, but we don't really know. You might speak to it. We don't know. There could be a few of them out there, but that's a lot. If you have $1 billion ship and you get hit by a mine, it's not the greatest thing in the world. So if you think the problem with that's not like you've decimated a military. If you think there may be a mine, that's a bad thought, and it stops things up. How are we doing in that regard, Peter?
Mr. President, you're right. We have so heavily degraded their coastal defense capabilities and their naval capabilities that any strategic or operational attempts to do those types of things are extremely limited. And we continue to move over the top of that. Now, whether Iran makes a wise choice or not to try to execute that is part of how this deal comes together. But with every passing day, the military pressure that we're putting on them lessens their ability to really hold that militarily at issue.
I mean, the problem with the issue of the Hormuz Straits is this: we've decimated them as a military. No Air Force, no Navy, very few rockets left. We blew up so many. Hard to manufacture them. Same thing with drones. The leadership is gone. The problem with the Straits is this. Let's say we do a great job. We say we got 99%. 1% is unacceptable because 1% is a missile going into the hull of a ship that cost $1 billion, right? So 1% is we can't. If we do a 99% decimation, that's no good.
Mr. President.
So it's really, a little bit. But I have a feeling it's going to clean up pretty quickly.
How close are you?
I can just say this: they want to make, and I probably hurt our little negotiation. It gives them a little impetus to say, well, I wish you didn't say that. But they said yesterday that we weren't negotiating with them, and now they admit that we were negotiating with them. So they want to make a deal. The reason they want to make a deal is they have been just beat to shit.
So the
Are you
Senate.
thinking of taking control of Iran's oil?
It's an option. I mean, I wouldn't talk about it, but it's an option.
Is that something you thought about?
Well, in Venezuela, we've done very well working with Venezuela, certainly. And we've taken in billions and billions of dollars. And by the way, Venezuela is doing better right now than they've ever done in the history of their country. And it's sort of like a joint venture. But the United States has made.
All right, gonna go ahead and switch the video up to Trump's recent speaking engagement. Let's get right over to that.
And they said, yes, oh, yes, we are preparing them. I say, when will they be ready? Maybe in a month or two. Oh, great, that's wonderful. I said, are you going to help us? Yes, we're going to help you. When the war is finished, we will be there. This is NATO. And I've always said NATO's a paper tiger. And I always said, we help NATO, but they'll never help us. And if the big one ever happened, and I don't think it will, but if the big one ever happened, I guarantee you they wouldn't be there. And we learned from that. And remember what I said, because they made a big mistake. They were not there. The Chancellor of Germany, these are all friends of mine, Friedrich, the Chancellor of Germany, he said, this is not our war. We have nothing to do. Well, Ukraine's not our war, but we helped them. I wouldn't have had to help. If I were president, that war would have never happened. But we had a man of a very low IQ as president, and he had no idea what the hell it was. I was listening to him talk. I said, he's forcing an issue that's going to be trouble, and it turned out to be trouble. Last week, 28,000 soldiers died. The week before that, 32,000 soldiers died. I think we're going to get it settled, but it's a terrible thing. Worse since World War II. I settled 8 wars, and this should have been one of the easier ones, but the hatred between President Putin and President Zelensky is extreme, never good. Hatred's a bad thing when you're trying to settle a war. I want to thank the entire kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Been very helpful, unlike NATO. Saudi Arabia fought, Qatar fought, UAE fought, Bahrain fought, and Kuwait fought, even though they shot down 3 of our planes with the finest missiles. We could have done without that. They didn't know they were our planes. They wasted 3 great Patriot missiles, and you have to say there's nothing like these Patriots. You know, we had an attack of 101 a few days ago. 101 missiles shot at a very valuable thing that we had floating on the water, namely an aircraft carrier, biggest in the world. And they were shot, 101, going 2,500 miles an hour. And out of the 101 missiles shot, 101 missiles were shot down and spread out all over the sea. Pretty amazing. That's called incredible technology, right, Steve? That's called great technology. Think of it, 101 missiles going 2,500 miles an hour. You don't have a lot of time. And these aren't necessarily weightlifting shoulders. These are very smart people doing that. And I watched them. I watched their performance. Missiles launched. It's almost like they're bored by it. They have like 9 seconds ahead of FIFA, the most powerful man in sports. Johnny, you never choked, right? These guys can't choke, but they're very smart. High IQs. We need high IQs. We have too many low IQ people. But what happened is, you have to see it. It's very cool. Missiles launched, missiles launching. They're launching. Okay, we're ready. 101 missiles coming at them. All right, we have like 11 seconds to make a determination. Then at 7 seconds, fire. It's the most unbelievable thing. Fire, boom, fire, boom. One at a time, just knocked them out like they were nothing. Genius. It's like unbelievable. I mean, to think and we have the technology nobody has. Look at what happened in Venezuela. They had other equipment, not ours. They made the mistake of using other equipment. Didn't work too well. And Venezuela was, took 45 minutes. It was a 45-minute war. This one's bigger. It's a bigger country, a lot more powerful. It's a lot more powerful, but it's not powerful anymore. Within 2 days, I think the damage was done, but now it's really done. Now we're just going after targets. And they have no anti-aircraft, so we're just floating over the top looking for whatever we want. And we're hitting it, and we have another 3,554 targets left. And that'll be done pretty quickly. And then we, at some point we're going to have to determine what we do. But they've never seen anything like it. When we hit Venezuela, that's a very strong military.
I'm not gonna lie, his little rant about Venezuela, it just proves the point that he got too cocky due to the success of Venezuela. And he went in there, walked in, thought Iran, of all places in the Middle East, or he thought Iran was going to be just like Venezuela. We hit them hard, they give up, we go ahead and pretty much control their regime just like we do in Venezuela. And guess what? If you think there was a regime change in Venezuela, not really. No, the people of Venezuela still live under the same regime. They just do what the American government says. And we were hoping to get the same thing out of Iran, but I mean, trust me, we're far from getting that.
Country, they have soldiers. If you've ever been there, I've been there. They have a lot of soldiers walking around all over the place. Everyone's a soldier. Very military kind of a place.
Let it go to his head.
And there was a general, professional general, really good. Then he said, we were all set for him. We knew there was a problem when we noticed at 1 o'clock in the morning, every 32 seconds, another airplane, a very fast plane, was coming off the deck of an aircraft carrier. That's actually the biggest aircraft carrier in the world. And every 32 seconds, boom, boom, boom. And it was 1 o'clock in the morning. So we said, okay, I think we're in trouble. But they were ready for us, Johnny. And we were ready. He said, we were ready. And then they hit us. And they came from 17 different angles. They were here, they were there. We ran for our lives. It was over. And it was over. And then we took this guy who was a very bad guy, and within literally minutes, he was in the back of a helicopter in a house that was in a big military base with thousands and thousands of soldiers. The house was all steel, with steel doors, steel everything. They had the small steel doors, the big storage. We were equipped for anything. Even the big one, it would have been opened within 30 seconds. They walked in with blow torches. And within minutes, he was out of the house, being thrown into the helicopter, sailing away, and the soldiers just looked. Bye. Enjoy your trip, sir. It was amazing. It was but this is more amazing what's happening now, because we took a very strong country. I could see that, yes, sir, the problem you would have had. I mean, this was not a weak country. This was a strong country. They had over 10,000 missiles that they accumulated since October 2nd, if you think. Since the B-2s, really since the B-2s, they accumulated them in a matter of months, 6 months, but they had well over 10,000. They had rocket launchers. Rocket launchers are more important than the rockets, because you take a rocket launcher out, that's the end of that. People think you can take those big rockets and throw them out your window, like when you were a child with the paper airplanes. You said, it doesn't work that way. You need those launchers, and we knocked out now 97% of the launchers. That's why you may be attacked, but you're not being attacked with very heavy numbers of missiles like at the beginning. But in particular, I want to thank my friend, the Crown Prince Mohammed, who is a fantastic man and a great friend of mine.
Make sure to double tap that screen and like the video and smash the like button, guys. Let's go ahead and try to beat this shadow ban that we're still going through at the moment. But hey, do me a favor and like the video.
Mine. And a friend of all of yours, I think. And he's a warrior. He was not afraid of this country that, frankly, he should have been afraid of, because they're very powerful. I want to thank Tamim, because Tamim is These three people have been unbelievable to me. And then UAE, Mohammed. These are three great people. And they were under tremendous attack, unexpected attack. And they weren't thinking this was going to happen. Nobody was. And they turned against them and really became very powerfully aligned. And they were with us, but they weren't with us very obliquely. They were with us. But I think that I have to acknowledge for their bravery, because they were being hit pretty hard. All three of them, they were being hit pretty hard. The Emir,
Probably not the best thing to say.
Mohammed, you had two Mohammeds and a Tamim, and they're friends of mine. And also I have to say that Bahrain and Kuwait, they were stand up, more so than NATO, I want to tell you. More so than NATO. Now, they're a little closer to the action than NATO in all fairness, but very disappointed with NATO. But I wasn't disappointed with our allies in the Middle East and others. And others. We had tremendous support from countries that were not in the general area, but they were tremendously supportive. I think Turkey was fantastic, actually fantastic. And they stayed out of things that we asked them to. And he's a great leader. He's a great leader. And Indonesia was great. We had so many great, you learn who your friends are, really do. You learn who your friends are. And, but Indonesia, Turkey, and so many other countries, but the five were great. But your dear friend and my dear friend he was all man. He stood up and he wasn't scared. Maybe he was, I don't know, maybe he was, but he didn't show it. He was great, a great leader. Saudi Arabia can be very proud of because he's got a lot of titles. He's the crown prince. He's the prime minister. He's the future king. He's got about 7 other titles. I said, you have more titles than any human being on earth. He's everything. And he deserves to be because he's a winner. So I just want to thank those people. So the Middle East will be transformed, and the future of that region I don't think it's ever looked brighter. You couldn't have, we did the Abraham Accords. I hope you're going to be getting into the Abraham Accords finally. Yeah, sir, will you please go back and explain? It's time now. Mohammed said, oh, yes, as soon as we do this, as soon as we do that. I said, Mohammed, we did that. Oh, yes, but we have a couple of other things. It's now time. We've now taken them out, and they are out bigly. We got to get into the Abraham Accords. And we hope all of the countries are going to be in the Abraham Accords. Now, we have some very brave countries that did it, years ago. They went in, and you know who they are, the early four, and they did a great thing in doing it. And it was great for them also economically, but it was a great thing that they did it. But I think all the Middle Eastern countries are going to be joining now. And in some cases, I would say all the Middle Eastern countries and beyond, you have people not in the Middle East that want to be members. You'll be seeing that soon. In the meantime, the conflict in Iran also makes it absolutely vital for the radical left Democrats in Congress to immediately end their dangerous shutdown of our Department of Homeland Security. They want to play games. That's all they are. These people are lunatics. They sort of remind me actually a little bit of Iran. They're deranged. They're deranged Democrats. For 42 days, they've tried to completely eliminate funding for the number one duty of government, which is keeping America safe. And they want no ICE. They want no border patrol. They want no protection of any kind to be given, reopening our borders and stopping all immigration enforcement in our country. They want to have our borders be open again. We took in 25 million people. We've gotten a lot of them out. Tremendous numbers of people that should never have been here. Over 4 long years before my election, these same radical, lunatic Democrats let 25 million people pour across our borders like they were nothing, like they were non-existent. These people were totally unvetted, unchecked, including murderers, drug dealers, gang members, vicious criminals, even the criminally insane. In 2024, the American people voted in a landslide to stop the invasion of our country. and I won all 7 swing states by millions and millions of votes. We won the Electoral College by a massive number. We won the popular vote, millions and vote, just millions. This was a big election. I loved every minute of it. And for the first time, no Republicans done anything like this in decades, but for the first time, we won the counties of America. That's a big one. 2,700 to 525. 2,700 to 525. 87% of the vote. We won 87% of the counties. In other words, it was a mandate like our country has not seen in many decades. It was a mandate for an ideology, which is an ideology basically of common sense. We want strong borders. We want a powerful military. We want good education. We want to have homes for people and low interest rates and no inflation.
Here's the thing, though. You kind of walked all of that back in a way. Like, I mean, instead of spending $200 billion on a war, you could have spent $200 billion on all of those goals instead. Shit. I mean, if the goal was for you to go to war, trust me, I'd have been one of the main persons speaking out against $1 trillion budget for the military. Because at this point, it's just like, man, if you don't plan on going to war and no new wars, then why fund the military to the teeth?
Right now, my polls are better.
Oh, guys, let's make sure to double tap that screen and like the video.
Than they've ever been before. You know, I heard the other day, I think that he's losing the MAGA base. I said, really? Because of the war. See, I get into a war. Of course, they call it a war. I call it a military conflict. But there's a legal reason for that. But you get into a war or a military operation or conflict for you, and then they say, my base. I said, no. MAGA is stronger than ever because MAGAs make America great again. But my MAGA people, which is the greatest phrase in the history of politics, it's the most important movement by far, probably in the history of the world. I mean, you know, there's never been anything like this. And in fact, just a few days ago, you have to understand, the fake news right back, oh, that's a lot of fake news. Yeah, so you brought a lot of fake news with you. They must know you're going to make a speech at some point because look at the... But what happened is the fake news was saying, he may, they hope, you know, it's like, oh, we got to get rid of this guy. They say, he may be losing his MAGA base. And that would be maybe the end of him. And then I happened to be watching CNN, which is terrible. They treat me terribly. In fact, just a few days ago, CNN had a poll that had me at,
I mean, let's be realistic. If you don't think that Donald Trump lost a lot of, like, I would say people in the middle, like the independents, like, yeah, you're tripping. If you don't think Trump done lost people like, you know, myself, people who listen to Kenneth Owens, Megyn Kelly, you know, the people who've been chanting anti-war, like, was actually proud to vote for Donald Trump because he had those stances. Yeah, those guys left MAGA. But I mean, if we want to talk about the guys who will never criticize Trump no matter what he do, I mean, of course we'll always have them because, I mean, bro, they don't ever criticize him no matter what he do.
100% of MAGA voters, they said they've never seen anything like that. Can you put that up? I actually said if you could put it up. Do you have the technology to put it up? Go ahead, give it a shot.
You know, sometimes you look at the polling data and there are numbers that just jump off the screen at you. And this is one of those. Because just take a look here. MAGA GOP view of Trump. Approve 100%. 100%. If you are a member of MAGA and the GOP, you approve of Donald John Trump.
Oh, no.
0%.
Oh, God, he believes in this. He actually believes in this delusion that you have 100% approval when you don't. It's like, Trump, you do not have 100% approval. You know what? This might be one of the reasons why at this point, I guess I'm spitting out, I guess one of the reasons why my engagement is getting hit at this point, because I'm spitting out a narrative that, I'm gonna be real with you, that they're even trying to sell the president that he has 100% approval. So if I'm apparently a MAGA channel and I'm saying I don't approve of this goes against the narrative that they're trying to spew out to the public. That a MAGA that this is 100% approved by MAGA, and it's not. But I mean, hey, you ain't gonna hear from guys like me anytime soon, unless you know I clip it up or something. But this goes to show that Donald Trump is drunk in the Kool-Aid. He's drunk in his own Kool-Aid at this point. If you truly believe 100% of MAGA, come on now, guys. Come on.
Say that they disapprove. You don't have to be a mathematical genius to know you can't go higher than 100%. He is the 1972 Miami Dolphins.
I'm sorry. The only way to fix this would be to actually hold him accountable. I'll be real with you. It would have to be his own cult to hold him accountable. Yeah, at this point, yeah, MAGA does have a bit of a cultish side to it because, bro, like they can never say he's wrong. I mean, the man the man said whoop-de-doo, a guy's dead, and MAGA didn't want to say anything about it. I'm just like, all right, guys, come on now. We got to condemn something here. This whole war won't be condemned. So at a certain point, the only way to fix it is for, I would say, his diehards to pretty much be like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, this ain't it, Trump. But that's not what's happening. He's purposely being kept in an echo chamber where he feel like everything he does is right, and anybody who tells him that he's wrong, well, they don't know what he's doing. They don't know what they're talking about, apparently. And this is how he's gonna lose the midterms. He's gonna lose the midterms in shock. Donald Trump is going to be probably have a whole heart attack when the midterms come around, when he loses in shock, and he's like, but the polls, like, no, yeah, I know they were a lie the whole time to get you to feel comfortable with still committing to this terrible idea of a war with Iran.
Good technology. Thank you. I figured you'd have good. I said, I wonder if they could put that poll up. We just did it 2 minutes ago. No, but I was watching this and I'm hearing them saying, could he be losing the MAGA base? I don't think so. You know why? Because MAGA wants to win, number one. Number two, they want our country protected. They don't want another country out there that's hostile and crazy to have a nuclear weapon. And number three, they like us protecting certain out.
I mean, hostile and crazy. I mean, bro, it's too late for that. I mean, North Korea already got nuclear weapons. Russia got nuclear weapons. China got nuclear weapons. I mean, shoot, we already got hostile country with nuclear weapons. And here's the thing, Iran's the only hostile country that actually made it a religious law not to make it a nuclear weapon. So to sit there and make them the threat of the year is crazy.
Whether it's Israel or Saudi Arabia or Qatar or UAE, any of them, they want that. MAGA wants strength and they want victory. They want success. And that's what
really we want. Economic prosperity. That would be really nice. Economic prosperity, jobs up, inflation down, oil prices down. You feel me? That's what we really was voting for. We did not vote for you to go out here and say, oh, go to war and talk about MAGA wants strength. No. We wanted economic prosperity. Say it with me now. Like, come on.
We have been very, very successful. When I went into Venezuela, I said, because I campaigned on the fact peace through strength, you wouldn't have to use. I built this great military. I said, you'll never have to use it, but sometimes you have to use it. And Cuba's next, by the way, but pretend I didn't say that, please. Pretend I didn't say. Please, media, please disregard that statement. Thank you very much. Cuba's next. So despite the radical left Democrat shutdown, we will continue to defend the sovereign borders of the United States of America and will defend our allies. Your ally. You didn't know they were that tough, did you? You didn't know. They were pretty tough, Iran. Not tough anymore. Now we'll continue to deport dangerous criminal aliens from our country. Just days ago, an 18-year-old girl in Chicago named Sheridan Gorman was gunned down by a savage criminal alien led in by Sleepy Joe Biden and released in a Democrat sanctuary city. He was an animal. The same month, an 83-year-old veteran, highly regarded person was shoved onto the subway tracks and murdered by an illegal alien with a long criminal history in New York City.
What are you talking about? Whoa. Hold on now. Maybe just talking about somebody else. Hold up.
Month, an 83-year-old criminal alien led in by Sleepy Joe Biden and released in a Democrat sanctuary city. He was an animal. The same month, an 83-year-old veteran, highly regarded person was shoved onto the subway tracks and murdered by an illegal alien with a long criminal history in New York City. True. These are vicious criminal thugs, disgusting human beings that Democrats have defunded our airports to protect.
I'm real with you. I thought he called the what was it, the black guy who like tragic. I mean, it was a crazy scene, but who stabbed the white girl in the neck on the bus. No, on the train. Yeah, I remember when he was explaining that he tried to call that guy an undocumented immigrant. I was like, whoa, no, that's an American citizen, and a crazy one, but he's an American citizen.
In fact, they want our airports to be defunded so that these people can come into our country. Not going to happen. We're not going to have it. That's why this week I deployed ICE to our airports to help reduce the delays. People there are doing a great job, but they didn't want to pay them. The Democrats didn't want to pay them. And a short time ago, I also ordered emergency funding to resume paying the TSA agents immediately. They're getting paid. Democrats must stop their dangerous and destructive shutdown and reopen the Department of Homeland Security without delay. And it's time that they start thinking properly. That's why they lost in such a landslide and put America first. It's time that they start thinking about America first. And we're honored to be joined tonight by many distinguished guests from around the world, including FII Institute Chairman Yasser Al-Romayan. Where are you, Yasser? Come here, stand up. Yes, please. What a nice thing. What a nice thing. And his son, Faisal. And by the way, I've known him really well, but I've never heard his last name. So I'm saying, who the hell is Yasser? I know Yasser. Said, who the hell is that guy? But I know him by Yasser, right? I didn't know if it was your first name or your last name. All I know is he's got a lot of power. All I know is he's got a lot of cash. And he's another great leader, actually. And he's a good friend of mine. So nice to be with you and nice to be with your son. Son's beautiful. Saudi Minister of Finance, Mohammed Al-Jadaan. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nice to see you again. Good job. I mean, if you want to be a Minister of Finance, Saudi Arabia is a good place to do it, right?
Alrighty. You know what? I'm going to get into some reactions that I should have finished up last night because I can't even do it no more, man. It's like the magic is gone, guys. The magic is gone. I can't even do the long Trump speech. I can't even defend a lot of his positions anymore. Why? Because, well, I'm gonna be real with you. Due to this war, I don't have really anything good to point at. Maybe the border, sure. ICE operations has been halted due to this whole shutdown, and are actually retracting some of that. So we're not even getting the mass immigration, mass enforcement of immigration that we were promised. So can't even do it, man. Can't even do it.
He has what, two and a half, maybe 3 years left. Yeah, I don't know how he turns it around. This Iran war. Yeah. How do you fix this? Yeah, it's not an easy fix. Yeah, you only been there a month.
I predicted this. I'm not trying to brag. I mean, we already had the military assessments. Plus, I studied it. I agree with the assessment. That we've always known one of the main crisis points for America and the world will be this: that 90+% chance it would be regime change. 100% they block the strait. We can't stop them. Then we got to send in ground troops. They're belligerent. The head of their military says, please, we're waiting for this trap. This is insane. It's like sticking your hand in a lion's cage, or, punch it in the face, or climbing in with a gorilla or something. What do you think is going to happen here? So, and then I was against it. Even if I don't like the mullahs, it's a terrible idea. And now it's just off to the races.
Afghanistan is a perfect example. Yeah. What did we accomplish there? Nothing. We were there 2 decades. You think you're going to just wrap this up in Iran in a couple of months? And the longer this goes on, the entire economy of the entire world is going to tank. And that's just more ammunition for the Democrats to say, look at Trump's economy. Look at the gas prices. I mean, in California, there's gas prices around $8 a gallon.
And like I said in last stream, I'm like, bro, as oil prices stand right now, I mean, I'm not sure if y'all really want to go through this again, but this is where we're at. We're at over $100 a barrel. We're at over $110 a barrel, and that's Brent crude. And this is really the one of the most important ones. And then there's even, Western Texas Intermentals. Yeah, I think so. That's almost at $100, and almost at $100, guys. So yeah, anybody pretty much telling you that, oh, don't worry, oil prices is going down. No, they're not actually. No, they're actually going up. And I mean, hopefully it don't hit us too bad. Wait, my bad. Already up $1. Well, hopefully we're not up $1.50.
Here in the
and shout out to my man Lunatic Libertarian. He says this is a manufactured crisis, and brother, I agree with you. Trust me, I agree with you a lot, because you know what's so crazy? this whole thing could turn out to be a tragedy for us, where we can get kicked out of the Middle East. Our Middle Eastern partners don't want to work with us no more. And then, well, Israel becomes the dominant partner in the region. They become the new America in the Middle East. They gain the prosperity that we once had. And we're just kind of left out to suffer because we no longer have the petrodollar being fueled by the Middle East. And we will go through that economic turmoil until we find our way out of it, of course. But we will never be the same. And this could be like the worst case scenario from this war. Now, this is me, I guess, being a doomer. But then again, like I said, there's the bright side of things to where we can get out of it today, tomorrow, within a week, start doing some economic recovery. And maybe we can show enough results to save the Republicans in the midterm. Maybe.
Gas is approaching $6 a gallon. I mean, what power will we have if Trump keeps pushing this war?
I'll be real with you. If that doomers, like my little doomsday scenario happens, and it was all manufactured, and it was all for the sake of countries that don't have our best interests at heart. Oh yeah, and of course China and Russia will also gain more influence over in that region, because you know what? When you partner with China and Russia, you ain't gotta worry about them dragging you into a regional war. I don't know. I guess it's a perk of working with the commies.
And I don't know, man.
And again, Fox News and everybody, they all spin the same talking point. Short-term pain for long-term gain. No, it builds into the inflation. Now about raising interest rates, that kills the whole plan, which would the bankers want. The bankers don't want Trump's recovery. So they got him to do this knowing it'll kill his economic recovery.
Right. You're exactly right. I don't know how he turns this around. Yeah. Maybe
what was it, like $1 to $2 trillion right out of the stock market. Gone.
Alex, maybe he looks us like three idiots. We take over the Strait of Hormuz. Everything goes successful. There's minimal losses with our military, and he makes us like idiots. But I don't see that happening because Iran is like twice the military that
you just read my mind. I was about to say, I hope he succeeds. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Let's come back to that. Real leadership.
Oh, double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's get more people in on the conversation by double tapping that screen.
Well, the entertaining, informative, and very popular Hodge Twins are simulcasting with us today. Again, for their viewers wondering what's going on, I'm on hundreds of radio stations. For the younger folks, that's called network radio and TV. Most networks on TV, 15, 20 minutes ads now. We only have about 7 or 8. And so many times when we go to break, people go, they went to break because there was a key thing being said there. No, those breaks are hard programmed in. Just want to be clear with everybody there. And that's why the regular listeners know that and laugh about it. But for younger folks, they just don't seem to understand it. But a lot of the radio stations don't carry the first 6, but I don't want to just fill that with ads. So we cover it on the internet. But some stations carried it. But I literally, this happened 3 or 4 times with you guys.
Hey, shout out to my man, the Lunatic Libertarian. One from open up the call-in lines. He said, all centralized systems are failed. The Lunatic Libertarian sent the 50 to the Venmo. That's a ball of alert. Let me see. Oh, yeah. Appreciate that, my man. He said, sent you a Venmo and the shadow bans. Yeah, trust me, dog. I was looking it up and I don't like what I'm reading. So I kind of just linked out of this little space of, we're trying to say if you're anti-war, your channel's going to get hit. And bro, they've been hitting anti-war channels. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm kind of on the good side of this. Like I'm the less severe side. People are getting hit with strikes. People are getting hit with saying that, oh, well, if you're not supporting the war, you're supporting Iran, therefore you're supporting extremism. And people are getting hit with strikes like that on YouTube and TikTok. So I'm kind of just sitting here going like, you know what? I could be dealing with it. Since I'm dealing with it, I could be dealing with a strike or a shadow ban. And I'd rather be dealing with a shadow ban than a strike, because strike, you're about to lose your channel. A shadow ban, I don't know how long it might last. But at least I got my channel. So I'm kind of just trying to pull my head out of this whole shadow ban mindset. I'm just going to score what it is, because it could be worse. Like other YouTubers who don't have the subscriber count I do. So, I mean, I'm blessed for that. But other YouTubers who don't have that, bro, they're getting hit with more severe punishments, like strikes, weeks off their channel. And some of them are losing their channel. tough. It's tough. But shout out to my man Lunatic Libertarian. I'm gonna go ahead and post that call in. Well, the StreamYard link
today. And because you are twins, I always get confused who's who, so I apologize. But
too. Not just you.
But
Alex.
the brother
Me
on the
too.
right was sitting there. He was saying, you guys will like wear name tags, seriously. But
Got tired of that in third grade.
no. So
They do look like.
but I'm serious. I was about to say, I don't want Trump to fail. I need him to succeed.
not.
I'm so sad about this. I hope I'm proven wrong, even though we've been proven right. And this turns around. We're not happy about this, but we're moral. We stand on things. We can't just have him run on something and do something and know it will be a disaster. And then it is a disaster. And then we're now Nazis and we're evil and all this. And you literally you got cut off by the break. Literally word for word what I was about to say, you started. So go back and repeat the start of what you were saying.
I hope he's gonna.
Yeah,
I hope he's right. I hope we're the idiots. Yeah. I will want nothing more than to see us be victorious. Everything work out. Right. Peace in the Middle East. Everything's great here. Yeah. The golden age that Trump talked about, he was going to usher in. Yeah. I hope that's the case. But there's not giving him much confidence when they start calling us neo-Nazis. Yeah. Fake MAGA. It's just, there's no need for that. We just got criticism. Yeah. You're using the same tactics as the left. Yeah. I'm a black guy. I'm supposed to be a Democrat. That's the way I'm supposed to think. I don't think that way. Yeah. I think for myself. I think as Keith Hodge. I don't think as a black guy. I don't think as a Republican. I face every situation objectively. I'm not going to grovel for Trump. Yeah. Every little thing he does. I'm not going to do that because that's not the man I voted for. Yeah. And I'm not a sycophant for the right. I mean, I voted for the right. I'm a Republican. But I'm not just going to agree with everything you do.
Well, because
I'm not just going to be pro-war. Probably. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This kind of confused me, man. What was it? I'm not. Somebody said that I'm anti-war till we're at war, and then now I'm pro-war, and I'm just like, hold on, now that means you're kind of. I mean, you weren't never anti-war, but beyond that thinking, I'm just over here like, yeah, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I'm not gonna sit here and go along with everything the Republicans do just because it's Trump, and that seems to be what's going on. Just because it's Trump, everybody's now pro-war. I mean, just because it's Trump, I guess it's okay to be okay with people's death and insult people's dead wives. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's like, well, when did this become a thing in MAGA? Oh, my bad. Oh, yeah, because it's Trump, I guess it's okay to hate Muslims now. Like, I'm sorry, but yeah, y'all doing too much on the guidelines of because it's Trump. No. It's like, think about it. The whole reason why people are supportive of this war, even though we have a bad history of Middle Eastern intervention, is because it's Trump. Only reason.
Policies aren't truly populist or conservative or constitutional. We're not the ones that got off the reservation. They are.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Like, I didn't actually leave the Democrat Party. They left me. I used to vote Democrat. I voted for Gore, Kerry. I know, dumb Negro, but I voted for these people, right? But they went so far left. Yeah. I'm like, I'm Christian, I'm pro-life, I'm pro-gun. Yeah. I'm a Republican now. Yeah. Now when you just got a sliver of criticism for Trump, all of a sudden, a lot of the people that support you, they try to call you fake MAGA. You're never Trump, or you're a neo-Nazi. Yeah, we had criticism for Trump, and we lost 15,000 followers on Facebook. That day alone, lost 100,000 over all our social media, over 100,000 followers when we started criticizing them. And I was like, I'm like stuck. I'm like, I don't want to come in and just lie to make money and to grift. Yeah. Thank you. It's like, I said the same thing. Like, bro, I'm not just going to sit here in front of you guys. And bro, do what a lot of MAGA guys are doing right now. And it's low-key making me sick to my stomach. Cause it's just like, y'all really going to sit here and lie in front of your audience about what's going on? You're literally going to try to sell pro-war to your audience when I was watching a whole lot of y'all sell anti-war to y'all audience. And all of a sudden, because Trump is doing it, you're just going to walk all that back. Like, bro, I done seen some guys go like, you know what, it's good we're not doing mass immigration no more. It's like, what? MAGA, for real? So, like I said, I guess we didn't have any, bro, and it's killing me to say this, but yeah, some of these MAGA influencers don't really stand for anything. They'll go for anything, but they don't stand for anything
because they'll never criticize Trump no matter how wrong he is. And for some reason, they're only doing it because of the money. There's money in this. I'm be honest with you. There's money in supporting Trump and being pro-Israel with it. I mean, trust me, there's that Jewish money definitely involved. I'm gonna be keeping a buck with you. That I ain't gonna lie, I kind of ruined for myself on day one. On day one, being, you know, pro-Palestine against the genocide that was going on. So I kind of F myself on day one. And me being against the war, I guess, was last straw with MAGA. And I can understand that. They're free to have their opinion, but I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and tell y'all that everything's going to be okay while everything's in the red right now. I mean, the only thing that's in the green is the rising gas prices. And I mean, you don't want that.
Why I started my our political channels. I want to change the direction of this country. Yeah. It's not about the money. It's actually not about the followers. Yeah. It's about getting to what's true. Yeah. Yeah. What's best for this country.
No, I agree. Let me throw something in at people. I've been doing this 32 years, and I didn't, nobody was really doing like this. I came along around, the internet kind of exploded. I was self-trained. I just thought things were interesting. I wanted to tell people. So I never had some formula, never had, when they've sued me, they're like, where's the formula? Who tells you what to say? Where's the strategy stuff? Have interesting people on to cover news. But I never sat there, and whatever I like or whatever I use, I get as a sponsor, so I know it's great. I mean, it's just totally normal. But now that I watch how the left operates formulaically with lies, and then I see a lot of, obviously, neocons are kind of this.
Oh, and speaking of sponsors, make sure you guys sign up with my sponsor, Kalshi, and all that good stuff. Make sure you use the promo code SETmedia when you sign up for Kalshi. Spend 20, get 20, and then go ahead and have fun. All right.
Same establishment component. I see them using it on us, and it doesn't piss me off. It makes me sad because the neocons have been relegated now, and then somehow they've slipped back in because they've got Trump under their control. And absolutely, folks, I had the Democrats offer me $50 million a year to join them right before they sued me. People say, well, tell us what was off-record meetings. That's not illegal, so I don't have off-record meetings and not, you then violate that. But they tried to buy me. And they said, listen, you're going to get sued and destroyed by groups. You got this one chance to come do this and work.
Oh, yeah. I posted the StreamYard link in the post tab on the main page. So, hey, if you want to come on up and share your opinion, I'm all ears. I'm all ears.
For us. And I said, no. Wow. I said, you made a big mistake. And so my point is, I've been there at the top. I've seen it. I know what it is. And but here's the deal. I never even thought about selling out. Don't even know how to sell out. But if you sold out the establishment 50 years ago, 20 years ago, you made money, you got power. It hurt civil society, it hurt civilization. Things got worse. But you were going to be okay. Now, I made the point for you.
No, and then this is the sick part, too, though. It's the upper echelon of MAGA, the guys who's really making the money off the grifting and just going along whatever Trump is doing, that should be speaking out, because those are the guys that would really hit Trump, and then they would understand, and Trump would understand, like, oh, shit, my biggest supporters are pretty much telling me, yo, I need to go in a different direction. Not most of y'all going along with it, and then you got Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens on an island by themselves, and then you're just going to go ahead and call them the neo-Nazis, call them the they're the new never-Trumpers. Like, what? And it's kind of wild because MAGA's been taken over by the never-Trumpers.
Years, and a lot of the elite listen to this and actually flip sides just out of survival mode. You keep the globalist model. You think you're going to make everybody poor and kill most people and have a great reset? The people are going to rise up and destroy you because we're going to expose globalism as the author of it, so you can't pose as a savior. We were successful, all of us together, but this operation, at the center of it, is on record. That's why I'm under attack. If we expose the left of the globalists and they're bad, they then can't pose as saviors when they create crises for depopulation, total control, which is their main plan. Now they're in checkmate on that. And then Trump was doing all this good stuff, creating a new order just out of ideas. Then they went, screw that, let's just go with power and take over the globalist system. So now he's creating the new world order. They're even saying that, and it's absolutely insane. So my message is people that want to ride the fence or join the establishment. It's a suicide mission.
Let's be real, though. I'm going to be so honest with you. I remember when my man Monty was talking about, oh, this is what the globalists want y'all to disagree with this. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, bro, wouldn't the globalists want us to engage in a war that puts the entire world economy at stake to the point where it could shift power away from us and make this a more, I'm be real with you, power balance world. So where, we're not the top dog anymore, not military or financially. Well, wouldn't that what the globalists would want most of all? I'm just saying.
At this point, even evil people should be going for good because you're going to be destroyed by it. But evil can't help it. It's their nature. So I want you to speak to that idea. What I'm saying is now no one that can look at what's coming next should not be promoting freedom and justice and prosperity and transparency because that's the only way out of this.
Yeah, when you look at Fox News, you see that poll about MAGA 100% agreeing with Operation Stupid or Operation Forget About Epstein. You seen Lindsey Graham at that rally getting booed. I mean, everybody knows these polls are fake. I've sit down and talked to other Republicans and talked to people that's in the conservative movement. And just the other day at my brother's church, a guy came up to him, do not slow down, keep pushing on this war. We did not vote for this. Everybody I talked to that voted for Trump is upset with him. So when he ran that poll on CNN that 100% of MAGA supports this war, I was like, it's just a blatant lie in front of everybody. Yeah, and why would CNN of all networks put up that poll? How much pull does Trump have with these news networks? I used to think that was...
And here's the thing. I don't even think it was I don't even think it was Trump manipulating the media. I think it was just the media, one, like I said, trying to keep Trump going into a bad idea. I mean, bro, what's the saying? When your enemy's making a mistake, don't stop them. I mean, bro, shit. They're taking on not only if your enemy's making a mistake, don't stop them, but F it. Make them feel like it's the best idea ever made. And I ain't gonna lie, that's low-key genius. I can't, like, when I really think about it, it's low-key genius. Because, I mean, you could just sit there and just let them cook or let them F up. Or you could also sit there and let them F up and then championing them while they're effing up. It's like, I mean, it is working. I ain't gonna lie, it is working. If that's what they're doing, it's working. Shout out to my man, Lunatic Libertarian. How's it going?
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning, man. So what you thinking so far?
Like you said, this is crazy. I mean, as far as the globalist agenda, I don't know if we can win no matter what. Because if you have mass depopulation and you have the majority of the workers consolidated in 15-minute cities and we eat everything that is manufactured instead of anything that's natural, I think that, you just become a commodity of labor then, and you're a slave. If we go to, human cooperation, well, obviously you're going to have the people that cannot get out of these control systems are going to be the ones that are going to want to continue these control systems. So they're going to be the opposition. So it's a lose-lose no matter which way you look at it. And if you want to think of it as a globalist agenda, there's a win-win because there's going to be a mass population no matter what.
Jesus. That's what we're trying to avoid. But I mean, kind of like I said, what's more of a globalist agenda when you talk about mass depopulation and possibly walking us into World War III? Possibly. Not saying it's going to turn out to be that, but possibly. I remember when, like I said, I've heard some of my guys make the argument that, oh, this is all the globalist agenda for us to be against this. And I'm just like, wait, what? Like, I'm sorry, but if anything, us stepping into this war is everything that they've ever wanted. But all right, let's get back to it.
Oh, lies. Yeah.
No. He didn't have pull before. He didn't know about the Smith-Mundt Act and its repeal. He didn't know about not just Operation Mockingbird, but the actual national security stabilization acts and things. That's how Obama kept control of the media. Even when Trump was in, he didn't know. And by the way, I don't think it's good for Trump to run the media. But when he's like, I'll just take the license of, ABC or whatever as a late night comic, people go, that's crazy. That's tyranny. Well, yeah.
Yeah, and that was also scary as well. It's like, think about it like this, guys. And this is where everything kind of trickles down. So if Trump is out here pretty much threatening the license of any news station that said any type of anti-war propaganda, it's kind of crazy how they say anti-war propaganda when really just being against the war, they're going to frame it as you pretty much being for Iran, or you're going to call you like, well, foreign state media at that point. That's what they're trying to pull on people. And it's kind of trickling down all the way down to social media. And like I said,
Yeah.
it's to the point where any anti-war voice is going to get hit. Just because, I mean, if they're doing it at the high level, think about what they're going to do to you at the low level to where you don't even got that much pull.
Yeah, the control of information is always going to be something that the central government is going to want to control. Now, with the redaction of the Smith-Mundt Act, that allows media to be used for propaganda against the United States. And before they used it in a covert way, Obama just eliminated it altogether. That he just got rid of the act. Now, it's kind of funny how they can rescind legislation that keeps them under control, but they always pass legislation that keeps us way more under control and repressed. So, yet again, as I said the other night, I'm a person for liberty and freedom. Alex Jones says that he's from 1776, and I used to believe that from him, like 25 years ago, when before the internet actually was a thing, and you had to listen to him on the radio and stuff like that. So I think that if we can have logic and reason, we can get past this. But you're going to have to go into an animalistic, crazy kind of scenario, because if you're thinking you're not going to be engaged in this in some form or another, I think that we're in delusional times with people like that.
All right, let's get back to it.
They can actually do it, and he's been removing executives, blocking mergers, so. They are now censoring people booing Trump at the World Cup or whatever. And so it is happening. So the point is, Trump had this time, the advisors came and said, actually, sir, here's the keys of control. You see. So no, he never controlled the media before. It was the opposite. Now he's starting to actually get control of it. You see. But what he doesn't get is it's a dead horse. Almost no one watches it or believes it. But then you see Caroline Levitt saying, X is not the real world. Nothing real happens there. You mean video of an earthquake or videos of a missile hitting Israel or video of Trump talking? Some of it's real. Most of it's real. Some of it's crap. But it's actually the free, openest channels there are in Rumble. And so the idea that, it's just all fake. We don't care what's happening there. X and Rumble and all that stuff. YouTube has more video views than everything else in the world combined. So don't sit there and tell me, it's not real. All it is more people with more cameras showing more stuff they don't control.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like he ran on draining the swamp. It feels like he's the king of the swamp now. I may be totally wrong in saying that, but that's what it feels like. Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard of the swamp thing
like
in that movie. It says it's a swamp king.
Yeah, and then you got Don Bongoyo. He goes on with the FBI, and then he says the thing dearest and closest to his heart is Israel. Same thing for Ted Cruz. It's like, what? We're occupied. It's like, and then people try to defend that we're not occupied by this foreign agent, and they always say how Russia meddles in our elections and this and well, what are you talking about? We are occupied by Israel. They run all our foreign policy. Yeah, you don't get you don't win elections in the Senate or Congress without AIPAC support. I mean, it's very difficult to do. I think a majority of people that's in office right now, besides Robert Massey, everyone else has taken money from AIPAC. Without that AIPAC money, you can't really win an election. And for us to be that close with a foreign nation is just a conflict of interest. And for them to keep telling us that they are our greatest ally, at this point, I think they're our biggest liability, because being in bed with Israel and going to funding these foreign wars is just increasing our national deficit at a rate that, we're never going to pay off. We're going to be bankrupt.
I mean, bro, we're basically at that 40 trillion now. Like, the man is supposed to cut spending. Spending has been added. Not only spending has been added. More to the debt has been added. So, I mean, what happened to that cutting spending and making sure we're going and we start, having balancing the budget? That has not been done. If anything, he's about to further throw it out of whack with asking for $200 billion and not to help no American citizens, but to engage in war. And we're just supposed to stand for that when there is rural hospitals that are being closed right now because we haven't given enough funds to them. like at a certain point, and here's the thing though, it's kind of crazy. Like Daniel Castro, I really wish you would come up here and actually explain what you're talking about. Like, to be quite honest with you, because I don't want to mischaracterize your argument, but this has nothing to do with finger pointing. This has everything to do with holding people accountable. And if you see like holding people accountable as finger pointing, then I don't know what to tell you, because we're going to point the finger at the people who's making these decisions. Sorry.
Well, if you're asking for $200 billion after you already agreed to increase defense budget spending by trillions of dollars over the next 10 years, I don't know what to tell you.
And here's the thing, bro. A lot of these guys, I mean, here's the thing, man. It's killing me because I'm starting to realize that a lot of people, they don't really stand for America. They're just like, oh, man, I hate to say it, but they're just Trump dick riders at a certain point. And it's killing me. It's like, they don't really stand for America. You just stand for Trump. Like, and that's what's like, and here's the thing, it's so obvious about how much you support this war, how much you just go along with whatever Trump is doing, or how you're not trying to call out this, like, all the negatives that's going on. I'm not saying to just completely throw Trump over the boat, but you could at least sit here and be like, yeah, Seth, I ain't gonna lie though, like this war is going on, it's not looking good with the numbers, but I'm still holding out strong for better results. I'm like, all right, I can get that, I'm with that. But sitting here trying to come at me, trying to say, oh, I'm un-American, or oh, I don't just get the plan when everything is happening right in front of our eyes. I mean, bro, it is like, who are you kidding? You're just running defense at this point. You're not being honest with the people and what's going on.
Well, and they said it earlier that it's about money. You know, when ad revenue is flowing, you know, people will do anything for that dollar, especially at the cost of anything. And people aren't really principled anymore. They just go with the flow. They go with whatever's trendy, you know, and that's just, in my opinion, that's just mass population manipulation. You know, it's the same thing with fashion or anything else.
Here's the thing. That's because, like, at a certain point, you know, you got your certain viewers, and it's kind of wild because, and I do feel bad for some of my MAGA guys because they are caught up in a loop. And it's the same thing with the left too. This happens on the left as well, where they don't even really believe in most of the stuff that Trump, well, not most, I say they believe in most of it, but there's some stuff that they don't like that Trump does, and they'll never speak out on it because they know that their base will be mad at him for the slightest disagreement on Trump, slightest one. They're going to turn completely, you know, against that person. And they don't want that because the whole livelihood is connected to supporting Trump. And I feel bad for guys like that because, like, they're all in. I'm talking about all the way in, like, probably making 10, 20K a month off just supporting Trump. And if they go back on that, that's gone. That's their livelihood. So right. My heart actually hurts for guys like that. I still consider them cowards and bitch ass niggas, but I get it. I get it, you bitch ass nigga, but come on.
Well, and what I trumpet is saying that people need multiple disciplines and multiple skill sets. You need to have, you know, avenues to fall down on that, you know, it doesn't matter, you know, oh, this is gone. Well, I have this to fall back on. Well, that's gone. Now I have this. That's always been the lesson. I don't care which financial strategist you talk to. You need to have multiple revenue streams. It doesn't matter who you are, especially when your dollar doesn't equate to anything. And gas, you know, if you're depending on what state you're in, it could be $8 a gallon. It could be $5 a gallon. It could be $6 a gallon.
Bro,
and that just depends on the state tax.
Where I'm over here on the east side, where it's usually cheaper, and we're at $4. So, yeah.
Well,
so
and look at what.
Yeah.
Look at what the state tax is on it, and then go from there. And if you don't have a state sales tax on that kind of commodity, then you know I don't know why the price is.
I'm in a red state. We don't, like, we try to keep our taxes low. That's how I know. Like, when I see Ohio gas get out of control, that's when I'm like, bro, we don't have none of those stupid ass taxes on gas or anything like that. So whatever we're seeing is low key it. Like, if I'm seeing $4, then I know we're cooked across the nation. Like, when I was seeing like $5, $6 under Biden, I knew we were cooked across the nation. Like, everybody was seeing like 7, 8, 9, and I'm just like, yep, we're cooked. Because if it's bad on the east side, then it's bad everywhere else.
See, and I look at it this way because I'm kind of a cynic. That I think this would happen no matter if we had Trump or Harris, just for the simple fact that if it would just be a different narrative, right? So if Harris,
I think if it was Harris, it'd have been war with Russia, though. But go ahead.
No, well, my thing is that if it was Harris, it would have been, oh, well, we don't need oil anymore because we're going to go to all of these green energy EV systems and electric and all that. I think that would have been the narrative if it would have been Harris.
I can see that. I can actually see that. Maybe that's why they were rushing so fast towards this whole green initiative. They just couldn't wait to turn the Gulf region into I'll be real with you, a battlefield again. But
man, whenever I had friends that gotten a lot of fights and a lot of trouble, and they brought that trouble my way, I would cut them off. Yeah, seriously. But Israel's brought us into all these wars. Yeah, they brought us into Iran. Yeah, and it's like, and they keep pushing this. They're our biggest ally.
Double tap that screen and like the video, guys, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, and that's just political spin because. They own this country. Yeah. They own Trump. They're running Trump. Yeah. Bibi went to the White House I don't know how many times. I mean, what's up with these fake videos? Is this guy dead or alive? Yeah, a lot of AI videos. These AI videos that's coming out. Like, I seen his ring like virtually disappear. Right. And then he had that cup of coffee, and it's like it's about to spill the whole time, but it never spills. He drinks from it, and it stays the exact same way. Why are they putting these videos out? Yeah, and for Fox News to keep pushing this idea, I mean, I know radical Islam can be an issue. Yeah, I mean, radical Christianity can be an issue, but I got Muslim friends, and I think we have a lot of things in common with them. Like, they have a lot of high regard for Jesus and the Virgin Mary. We have things in common with these people. It's like we have nothing in common.
Well, honestly, things are getting a bit weird on this whole Christian versus Muslim thing, because it was kind of crazy because they was trying to rationalize how, when the Muslims go out there and conquer and do forced conversions, it's bad. But when the Christians go out there and conquer and do forced conversions, it's good. I was like, bro, what? I was like, okay, guys, are we really going to sit there and just say that, just because you're a Christian, you can go out there and kill and take land for the sake of Jesus, and that's cool? That's cool. But when Muslims do it, oh my God, they're the most evil religion in the world. It's a death cult. It's like, bro, like I said, if you can't apply the logic both ways, it's propaganda. Actually, Owen Schroeder said that, so I'm not even going to take his saying, but shout out to him. It's a good saying.
Well, I mean, now you can think of it, okay, well, we've had those two monotheistic ideologies be extreme. Now the third one's coming in to be extreme. Literally. And they're using...
But it wouldn't take other Middle Eastern countries for one big super Jewish state. And I'm just like, oh man, yeah. So all three of y'all are tripping right now. And here's the thing, though. This is something that I know a lot of Christians are not going to want to hear, but you do know this whole Zionist movement, the evangelist movement, is going to destroy Christianity. Like, people are not going to like Christianity if they find out that it's being used to pull us into this war. Like, they're not going to like Christianity when there's a Christian preacher pretty much damn near convincing Trump to go all out for the holy state of Israel. So I know a lot of Christians understand that as well. Like, yo, you guys are going to turn a lot of people against Christianity because they won't be able to tell the difference. Just like a lot of people can't tell the difference between, ISIS Muslims and regular Muslims. It's going to be the same type of scrutiny. And I hope it don't come, but it's looking like that's what's about to happen. All right, let's get back to it.
Earlier, and I didn't get to it all. So later on X and Rumble, we'll take the end of the last hour and sandwich this piece in for people so they get what I was going to say. You have to understand, you read the Quran, it's all about how he came in and took over Medina and then Mecca, and how to act like you're a friend, say you're a friend, and once you get to a certain number, start stabbing and killing people till you push people out till you get control of the area. And 100 years after he died, he controlled, hundreds of thousands of square miles, millions of square miles. And then about the Crusades, response to 700 years of Islamic invasion. So people want to make it you're with Israel or you're with the Muslims. Israel founded Hamas because they were radical.
Now, it's kind of crazy. Well, Alex Jones is a Christian supremacist, so I let him have it. But I'm just be real with you. The actual story is, no, they went around and they were Muhammad went around and he was able to convert leaders of nations and tribes over to Islam, over to being Muslims. And no, he didn't have to force conversion, these guys. They just went along and followed them. This is written in their scripture, by the way. And of these tribes, like, history as well, that how Muhammad came in and pretty much convinced these guys of Islam, just like how a lot of Jesus's disciples went around and were convincing people of Christianity. It's the same thing. But we don't ever sit there and say that, the disciples went around and they just went all force converting everybody. Like, no. But like I said, it's this crazy forced sell of Christianity that I don't like. It's like, trust me, you don't got to sit there and paint another religion as bad to sell Christianity at all. You really don't. It's a really beautiful religion. You don't got to do all that. But,
well, I mean, it's always an extreme view nowadays. It always has to be sensationalized, and that's what gets the clicks. That's what gets people enraged, because you have that instant dopamine hit, and it gets them going. So it's just that it's that programmed reaction of an emotional response, and it's what's used against us, but it's also something that's used for you for motivation or to get people to do stuff that they don't want to do. It's kind of insane that people haven't grown to know that this is how they get people to change their their ideologies. They sensationalize things.
And here's the thing, though, this is a country built on freedom of religion. Like, our forefathers, ran from ironically Christian religious zealots who, if you weren't Christian, you were dying. So it's kind of funny how Christians come off like, oh, it's only Muslims. It's like, no, it's funny how our forefathers literally escaping Christians who are acting like that. And like, what kills me about it is that like one, there's no need for the divide. And then two, like I said, this is all for one ideology to feel like they're better than the other. And I'm like, there's no need for that. I mean, here's the thing. It's like, Christians, they really don't need to do this in America. I mean, y'all outnumber the Muslims. So I'm not even sure what y'all tripping about. Like, even when they talk about a Muslim takeover, I'm like, with 5 million? 5 million out of 350 million? I'm like, are we really acting like there's a Muslim takeover going on? Really? But hey, a lot of these Christians don't consider each other Christians, sadly. Like my man Gaming, I think he's a Protestant. He don't consider Catholics Christians, and those are the biggest group of Christians. So I mean, like, if that's the logic, I mean, we really don't really have that much Christians in the world if that's the logic we're going off of. And
well, I don't know, but how big of a pussy do you have to be to be afraid all the time of everything and everybody? I mean, you got to be one pussified motherfucker to be like, oh, I'm afraid of everything and everybody. Let me live in a fucking bubble, or I got to have the government protect me from fucking everything. Where the fuck did that mindset come from? I don't know.
Bro, this is the reason why I don't have no hatred for any religion, because this was supposed to be a country built on freedom of religion. So if I'm an American, I believe in American values, and I'm supposed to be okay with any religion. Like, because that's what the forefathers believed in. Like,
if you can cooperate, shit'll be good. If you don't cooperate, shit can be bad.
And they're not doing like child sacrifices or anything crazy like that. It's all good. If they're a peaceful religion and no child sacrifices, we're good. Or animal sacrifices. That's also wild as well. But all right, let's get back to it.
To destabilize so they wouldn't get a good government in the West Bank with the Palestinian Authority, so they would have an excuse to keep blowing them up. Doesn't mean they ran Hamas, but they founded it. They stood down on October 7th. Here is John Loftus, is an American author, former high-level U.S. government prosecutor, former Army intelligence officer. I've interviewed him many years ago. Here he is. He was like number 2 in counterterrorism under multiple administrations. Here he is explaining that the Muslim Brotherhood and all of it is run by the CIA, and that Obama funded the Arab Spring. So the globalists are up above all of that, and they're creating this clash. And they run Al-Qaeda, they run ISIS, they run Boko Haram, and then because they don't want the Muslims having reform groups like the UAE, they want it to be the super hardcore crazies to keep them under control, but also use them as a threat. And then we've had the UAE and others warn us, hey, you better
I'll give them that one. We do take the sensible Muslims out of power and put the crazy ones in power. Like, I don't know why, but that's what we do all the time. Like, we complain about, oh, the crazy Muslim, the Muslim extremism. Yeah, but we work with the extremist Muslims and we put them in charge of countries. Syria. Sorry. Truth cough. My bad.
take in these Muslims you're taking in. We've seen who they are. They're the most radical worst, and they're allied with the left. So just because we're mad at Israel, what do we do now about the Democrats and Soros funding the Islamicists who vote 99% Democrats? See, so there's a sophistication here. So this is a short clip. It's actually 10 minutes long. I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is former deputy head of counterterrorism, John Loftus. Here it is.
My name is John Loftus. I was an Army officer, a federal prosecutor at the headquarters of the Justice Department in Washington. And then I worked for the Office of Special Investigations, which was the Nazi war crimes unit that was set up during the Carter and Reagan administrations. And unfortunately, I discovered that many of the Nazis had been assigned to prosecute were already on the government payroll. So I ended up being a whistleblower. And in 1982, I appeared on an Emmy Award-winning segment of 60 Minutes. Mike Wallace got the Emmy Award. My family got the death threats. It was a great trade-off. And after that, I went to private practice in law in Boston and set up my own law firm for a while. But over the years, I've become a private lawyer for whistleblowers. And I charge my clients $1 a piece. I'm the worst paid lawyer in America, but among the better informed. In order to be a client, you have to have a security clearance above top secret. I had a Q clearance for nuclear weapons secrets, an SI clearance, which is the wiretapping NSA clearance, and a cosmic clearance for everything in NATO that was top secret and above. So I could read the British intelligence files and the Dutch intelligence files, as well as the American files. And so I was the first person in a half a century that was able to go through the classified vaults where all these old intelligence files are stored. And they're stored out in Suitland, Maryland, an interesting place. There were 20 security vaults underground, like bank vaults. And each vault is 1 acre in size. It's a little bit of, remember the last scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark? Well, that's what the underground vaults are like, only not as organized. But I was looking for something unique, not just for files about Nazi war criminals, but evidence that might suggest that the hunt for Nazi war criminals had been obstructed. Evidence that the trials had been fixed. My first boss was a prosecutor of the Nuremberg trials, the bankers trial.
No, that is a crazy name right there, bro. How'd you get away with that on Twitch, bro? Ayatollah Khomeini is wild.
And he was the one who told me that he thought the trials had been fixed, that resources were taken away from him and the other people.
All right, let's stop right here. I sent the crew today 160-something clips, and I sent them a different Loftus clip. I have a clip here that we'll add in post for X and Rumble, where the Dulles family, deep state department, I think it's later in the clip, but it was a shorter version, and CIA created, he's giving you background here, so it's fascinating. I've seen the full clip. The House of S.E.T, which was it was OSS before that, and the MI5 took over control of the post-World War II Muslim Brotherhood Nazis, which created groups like Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Syrian Kurdish rebels, Mujahideen, KLA, ISIS, ISIS, Al-Nusra, Hezbollah, Hamas, etc. These are the CIA independent rebels for chaos, and he goes through it all. And he goes into the name of the operations that do it, the secret war against the Jews. Okay, he's explaining, though, but he gets later into it. Now, you've got Israel, Netanyahu is part of that now. So now let's understand why Israel created Hamas. But let's play this clip. This was backup under a clip from me 16 years ago or 15 years ago that Mike, bear it shot, guys, that Mike Benz posted last week, got a few million views. And this is where I describe U.S. aid funding Al-Qaeda, ISIS, and Boko Haram. And this is a 15-year-old clip. And then right here you have last week in the Oversight Committee saying the exact same thing. It's a short clip, but here is Congress talking about this last week. Here it is.
Who gets some of that money? Does that name ring a bell to anybody in the room? Because your money.
Ain't us.
Your money, $697 million annually, plus the shipments of cash funds madrasas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Boko Haram, ISIS Khorasan, terrorist training camps. That's what it's funding. If you think that the program under Operation Enduring Sentinel entitled Women's Scholarship Endowment, which receives $60 million annually, or the Young Women Lead, which gets about $5 million annually, is going to women who, by the way, if you read the Inspector General's report, is telling you that the Taliban does not allow women to speak in public. Yet somehow you're believing, and American people are supposed to believe that.
It's a little crazy though, and it's funny because I would do say like people have Iran or the Ayatollah confused with the Taliban. I'm be real with you, like women are allowed to get an education in Iran. Shoot, they're allowed to speak on Iran. Actually, sometimes you see Iranian women speaking in media. So it's kind of funny how y'all even have that confusion between Iran, of women's treatment in Iran and women's treatment in Afghanistan. But it is funny how people have that confusion.
Well, and look at where your tax money is going. It's going to fund through false leading organizations, to fund terrorism. It's all fraud, waste, and abuse. This is why spending should be completely frozen, in my opinion. And because you have so much fraud, it's so easy to apply for government funds, and they just throw it out there. Like there's so much waste. It's absolutely insane. But they just keep the system rolling, and they keep spending and keep spending, and they spend into oblivion, and they don't even know what they're spending it on. And then they try and audit it, and it's like, oh well, we have to keep these going because this supports this, that, and the other. And it's just virtual signaling. It's just grifting, and we're supposed to just continue on. We can't audit this stuff. We can't retract stuff. Come on. We know this stuff doesn't work. We spend, like you said, hundreds of millions of dollars to fund terrorism, and we're the ones spending the money. Like,
I mean, hold on. So, so crazy. It's just like, when they say, oh, Iran's the biggest funder of terrorism, I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one, guys. The biggest funder of terrorism. I mean, do you want to check our rap sheet, and do you really want to pull the balance sheet for those sponsor of terrorism that we were doing? Not to mention, I mean, let's not forget, like, I wonder how much those chemical, compounds or those chemical parts we gave Saddam costs, so he can make chemical weapons to shoot it to, use against the Iranians. How much did that cost? Because that counts as supporting terrorists, funding terrorism. So I see why Dave Smith low-key got a lot of heat, because it's the truth that Americans don't like to hear is that, bro, we're calling Iran the biggest funder of state terrorism when we spend billions of dollars on the terrorist regimes, billions of dollars on giving these guys weapons, intel, helping them take over entire countries. We've dedicated billions towards this. We've dedicated so much money towards it that, bro, we probably spend Iran's GDP 4 times over. Like, please, guys. And it's the truth that just most Americans aren't just ready to hear it. They're not gonna, and I understand.
This money is going for the betterment of the women in Afghanistan. It is not. You are funding terrorism, and it's coming through USAID. And it's not just Afghanistan, because Pakistan's right next door.
It was us.
USAID spent $840 million in the
shout out to Raph. But now it was us. It was us. We're the ones who pretty much sold the chemical weapons to Saddam that he ended up using against the Iranians, which is one of the other reasons why the Iranians don't like us. I mean, try to overthrow the government, gave a guy chemical weapons to use against them. I mean, come on now. Wouldn't you hate that? Would you hate that country too if they did it to you?
Last 20 years on Pakistan's education-related program. It includes $136 million to build 120 schools, of which there is zero evidence that any of them were built. Why would there be any evidence? The Inspector General can't get in to see them. But you know what? We doubled down and spent $20 million from USAID to create educational television programs for children unable to attend the physical school. Yeah, they can't attend it because it doesn't exist. You paid for it. Somebody else got the money. You are paying for terrorism.
The point is, guys, and I'll send the Hodge Twins the full clip. There's a bunch of them, but it is on record that British intelligence, then the U.S., and then Israel.
Look, it's right here, dog. I got you for my guy, Wrath. Right here. Exclusive. CIA files prove America helped Saddam as he gassed Iran. Yeah, I know, right? We helped him. Well, we definitely helped him. You can go ahead and what is this? This is foreignpolicy.com. Of course, you see the name of the article and all this good stuff. But no, we definitely helped this madman. Yeah. guy who kind of looks like Maduro a little bit. Yeah, we definitely helped him. But I know, bro, it sucks. It sucks. But I mean, shout out to the CIA for showing some type of honesty. But no, we definitely helped that guy. We definitely did.
I mean, the more and more you dig into the documents, the crazier it goes. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's just insane, and and that's one thing that Alex Jones actually proved over his entire career is that just go look up the document numbers and go look at what the government's doing, because most of the American population has the wool pulled over their eyes because they're a part of the rat race. They're not paying attention to what the government does. They're not paying attention to what they actually spend the money on.
Oh yeah,
and imagine all that foreign money came into the United States. That's crazy. Imagine all that money that we sent out of the United States stayed home. We wouldn't have all these damn problems. It's wild.
Convey location. Oh, that's crazy. But yeah, though, we definitely did help. Not only did we help this guy secure not nuclear weapon, chemical weapons, but we was also giving him intelligence as well. Saddam, though, of all people. So like I said, I mean, Iran being the biggest supporter of terrorism. I mean, did we give a whole terrorist or a dictator leader like chemical weapons? Like, isn't that I don't know. Isn't that a bit wild to sit there and say that they're the biggest ones? But I digress.
Is involved and kind of runs it. Literally runs all of the Orthodox Muslims groups. Does that make sense now?
Yeah. Mossad. It all leads back to Israel. It's like, okay, Iraq or Islam, it's a definite threat. No, I'm not denying that. But I just, from an elementary standpoint, Muslims, they hold Jesus in high regard. There's a whole chapter section on his mother Mary, right? True. You go to the Talmud and the Jews, they hate Jesus. So it's like, why is it that we're so, I think it was George Washington. He said our foreign policy, we should not have direct allies.
I'm gonna call this out too. It is a bit wild though, because it's like this. You know what? Muslims may not think that Jesus is the whole, son of God, or him and God is one, but at least they respect him as the Messiah, and they think that he's gonna come back the same way Christians do, right? But for some reason, the Christians align more with Judaism. And it's kind of funny because it's just like, they don't believe that Christian was the Messiah at all. They don't believe in his miracles. They think he's a charlatan and definitely not the son of God. So, I mean, they reject Jesus, I would say to a higher degree than the Muslims do. And the Muslims don't even reject him. They at least see him as the Messiah, but not the son of God. But for some reason, Muslims are the ultimate bad guy. And I'm not trying to say to paint the Jews as bad guys. No, you're okay to have your differences in religion. I'm just saying it's crazy how you paint one side, because they always hop on, the Muslims like, oh, they don't believe in Jesus as God and all this good stuff. I'm like, yeah, but you guys want to talk about Judeo-Christian values when part of Judaism is not believing in Jesus being the Messiah or the Son of God. So how do we share values?
Well, no matter which way you slice it, in that region, there's been expansion of Muslim power for hundreds of years, then retraction of Muslim power, and then Christian power, and it just goes back and forth, And supposedly the story is that the Judeo tribes were caught in the middle. Well, I mean, it is what it is as far as if you want to believe that story, but as a Norse pagan. There's a bunch of polytheists out there or pagans out there that are like, hey, what about us? We got decimated over the centuries
over the Crusades, over with the Muslims. I mean, like, the Crusades was y'all were sending me at that point, because that those are the guys who went after you guys specifically.
So it's like, okay, well, where does it all end? We live in a time of reason and cooperation. Why can't we cooperate while the owners of the land who claim ownership of the land control their resources? Why can't we cooperate and have the globalists want this global agenda? Well, we can trade with each other with cooperation, because as long as there's not greed involved, which according to most monotheistic religions is a sin, it's like, okay, if you get rid of that, then are you truly within the parameters of your religion? I mean, like you said earlier, Ron said that they're not making a nuclear weapon, and they made it a religious law because it goes against their policies. And to be a principled individual, you know, people see that in combat sports. You look like a Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? A principled Muslim. You look at an Artur Beterbiev, a principled Muslim. And these are some of the baddest men on the planet because they are principled. So it's kind of messed up when you look at the world stage and you have to compete with each other and say that, well, I'm more principled than you are. Why can't we just cooperate and say that, hey, you believe what you believe, but as long as you're not messing with me, and we can have cooperation and prosperity together, then so be it.
I like how you brought up combat sports. Like, did you bring that up because UFC was yesterday?
No. Fundora versus Thurman. Fundora beat the shit out of Thurman and stopped him.
Bro, I was watching. Well, shoot, I'm watching the Israel Adesanya fight, and I'm just like, it's official, man. This guy fell off. He's cooked.
Well, I mean, I was watching the Fundora versus Thurman fight, and I actually bought tickets for when that fight was first scheduled, and I went to the T-Mobile Arena. I sat right behind what's his name? The former 126-pound world champion, Omar Figueroa Jr. I sat right behind him. We were 5 rows back from ringside. Them tickets was like $3,000 a piece.
No, I was like, hold on. I already know you spent some bread sitting next to somebody like, or sitting close to somebody like that. But all right.
Well, it was funny though, because it was actually a very good fight versus Tin Tzu. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're a principled individual, there should be cooperation.
Yes.
We should have allies. We should have the same respect for all countries. When you pick one country over another country, you're going to create these hot points with these other countries because you're playing favorites. I think our foreign policy should be that we work with each and every country equally for the best of the world, not one particular country. Yeah. And that's why we're in this situation we are now, because we're playing favorites. Yeah, and that's why we got.
Well, there's no doubt you're right about that. Let's finish your thought on that. We're back in a few minutes. The Hodge Twins, stay with us. By the way, listeners, we have a special that ends Friday. Limited edition InfoWars shirt. When you subscribe to any monthly product, bovine colostrum, ultramethylene blue, ultramethylene red, a proprietary product we have, the Irish sea moss. Till Friday, the InfoWars lives forever. Limited edition shirt. Speaking of Iwo Jima, it's the apparel, just everything Hodge Twins.
Yeah, the reason why we started to get truck giveaways about 3 years ago, we've given away over $2 million in cash prizes, trucks and cash. And the reason why we started doing that is because we want to support the people that supported us. So, I mean, I wish I could give a truck to everybody that watches it, but unfortunately we can't. So that's how we give back to the people that support us. Whenever you buy at officialhodgetwins.com, every time you order something, you enter to win our giveaways, our trucks, our cash money. Yeah. It's like we used to pay for ads on Facebook. Yeah. And I was like, why am I paying for ads on Facebook to push our merchandise, to push our message when they're censoring us anyway? Yeah. So we just incentivize the people who support us the most and give back to them. That's the whole point and reason why we give away trucks. Yeah. And I think a lot of billionaires can learn from us. I mean, I don't have nowhere near the money some of these billionaires have, but if I can give back to the people that support us, or these billionaires just pretty much sucking all the money out of the company and just leaving the bank, they could be doing so much good with that money. And that's
oh God, do me a favor and double tap that screen, like the video, and like I said, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Appreciate the support, guys. Let's keep it going.
What motivates us to give back to the people that support us? Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, I mean, it's real simple. None of us that tell the truth, and none of us agree 100%, but we have integrity. It's not that it's not some sheet of music we read. We're seeing it. The Bible says you look through a rose-colored darkly. Our own humanity distorts some of it, but you got to go with who's been the most accurate over time. And I have integrity. You guys have integrity. And we're just telling the truth. And those are the voices that need funding. But voices that tell the truth, they come out of your sponsors, your bank accounts, everything. That's why going back like 15, 16 years ago, I had sponsors. They were great. They would get harassed. They get bomb threatened, everything. And I just said, you know what? We're just going to sell our own. I already made films and had T-shirts. But I said, you know what? I'm going to go hire a supplement expert. I'm going to put it on myself. Because that's the way, they can't, shut me down unless, they kill me. And then obviously I'm incentivized to want to sell somebody something that really works they're going to love. So our supplements are the best. We have the widest selection of t-shirts, some of the best designs. You guys have some of the best as well. Just, same folks come up with them. But that's what it's about. And you're literally, funding people to tell the truth. People can say, well, what is Bigley doing? They got Crowder, it's over here, does a great job as a journalist, a little more, I wouldn't even say.
I mean, it's you, and that's why you should support, your favorite streamer, political commentator, all that good stuff. You ain't even gotta send in money. Shoot, just like and share the video. Just comment under the video. Show any type of engagement, even if you don't got a penny to your name, bro. You can leave a comment. You can like a video. It's free, and that's supporting your and that's supporting your favorite creator, political pundit, whoever. So, like I said, it ain't even always about buying the merchandise or sending in super chats or all that. I mean, you can show support just by leaving a comment under the video or just liking the video. So, shout out to the guys who support their favorite creators.
Middle of the road right wing, just his own thing, but that's what he believes. I agree about 95% of it. You guys, 95% or so, I'd say. Sometimes I hear what I said. I disagree when I think about it later. The point is, though, we have integrity. And we're not being controlled. We didn't talk before you came on. We just invited you on. I've been trying to get on for a month. We don't sit here and but the left, talk about the left. When I used to go on CNN and all these things, until I refused to go on there anymore before I got banned, because it's just pointless. They want to talk to you for off and on for days. And what are you going to say? And what are you going to do? Even if it's taped. And if it's taped, they edit it and all stuff. There's no time for it because they're puppets. With us, folks, we do the research, we do the best we can, and we fly by the seat of our pants. That's what you want. No filter. But it's your support that keeps us on air. What's your best-selling T-shirt? I hear it's that Patriot shirt.
The Christ is King. Yeah. The Christ is King.
All right, I sure kind of hard.
Who knew that would be anti-Semitic?
Those are your designs are some are even better than mine. We have a wider selection, but who designed those? Because I was telling Bigley 6 months ago, I go, the Hodge Twins got some better shirts than me. What the hell's going on here?
But one thing you got to remember, Seth, is that communication is not the same across all platforms, right? You have a Federal Communications Commission, right? Mm-hmm. So they control what goes across the airwaves. And it's the same thing in China. It's the same thing in India. It's the same thing in Japan. Not all social media is the same. And not all media is the same because each government controls the narrative. And that's one thing that was supposed to go away with the internet is freedom of communication. But you can see how they try and implement policies that constrict.
Community guidelines.
Well, and when you have shit that comes off of what was going on with the pandemic, that's you can see where they are absolutely controlling information. So
bro, do you know what it took to get hit with medical misinformation? You saying anything that went against the CDC,
correct?
You were cooked. But yeah,
and so we can see that. And I mean, if we were truly free to communicate as we see fit, you can't send it through the mail. You can't send it through the airwaves. I don't know what you do when everything's a digital archive and there's no hard copies anymore because digital is so easy to manipulate. It's kind of hard to rewrite books. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of hard to redo that. So I don't know, man. It's really hard to understand where we're going to go on if we can't have free communication.
I agree with you on that. All right, let's get over to.
He's giving us better
finish this one out.
Oh, you guys didn't come up with that?
No.
Trump calls Bloomberg little shoes. So I talked to 3 different people. So you can't single out because he's had hundreds of security people over the years. But I first heard this about 15 years ago before Trump said little shoes. It was whenever he was running for president. It was 10, 12 years ago. And then I heard about it from another security guy, another one. Michael Bloomberg, I feel sorry for him. He is like 4 feet tall. He has little deformed feet that curl under. No, I'm serious.
Yo.
And they're baby feet. So
baby feet. He probably look like pig's feet.
Yeah. And the thing is, he already has little shoes, but he stuffs his shoes full of newspapers and he sticks his feet in those. And that's why Trump calls him little shoes. And I'm not trying to be mean to him. He's deformed, but he is pissed off, man.
Yeah, I would be too if I had a couple pickled pig feet. And I'm stuffing my shoes full of paper, and Trump's making fun of me. You ever tried pickles pig feet? It's the nastiest black thing you would ever want to do, but it tastes good. You can have them Bloomberg feet. Eat you some Bloomberg feet. Yeah, so Trump's way back then, he's always using, he come up with nicknames for people, huh?
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of that, people up north think that chicken fried steak and fried chicken is a black thing or collard greens. They don't know that now it kind of went out with my
southern
dad's
thing, really.
parents. They always had the big old glass jar of pickled pig feet.
Yeah.
We got a few photos of me like 3 years old with a big old pig trotter. That tastes good.
Yeah.
Pretty gross.
Hey, did you eat chitlins?
My dad would, yes. Well, back then they ate everything. And so his black nanny would cook chitlins and they'd eat it. But
wow, you're blacker than I am. I never ate that shit.
No, listen,
my mom used to make that. I ain't eating that.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. You gotta tell you gotta tell Alex Jones come from some money because he said, yeah, my grandfather's black nanny. I'm like, whoa. Your granddaddy can afford a black nanny? Hey man, you have to have some money black then to have a black nanny. It's like the equivalent of having I know I'm not even gonna make that joke. No, F it. It's like having a beautiful Hispanic woman as your maid. It's like the equivalent right there. It's the same thing. I mean, bro, it's expensive, especially if you wanted to be Hispanic. That's like an extra $100 an hour. Like, I'm just playing, guys. All right, though, let's get over to our guy Sean Ryan, man. He had a pretty good interview with our guy Joe Kent. And you know what, bro? This man, shout out to my man Sean Ryan, because his anger level was, I ain't gonna lie, it was the same thing as mine. The way Sean Ryan feels, the same way I feel. I mean, and that's the thing, though. We haven't given them any good examples to go by to show that we're doing this in good faith, because they're looking at us like, bro, the last time somebody gave up their weapons to you guys, I mean, bro, they got taken over. I mean, bro, the guy got sodomized with a knife on camera. Who wanna go through that? I mean, Ukraine gave up their nukes, and now y'all not even willing to help them with the nuclear power. So what good examples have we given Iran to be like, you know what, just give up your nuclear capabilities and enrichment and just leave it to us, bro. Just trust me, bro. We got you. Even though we didn't even though we did not, help Libya or Ukraine, and they gave up their weapons. Well, nukes. Well, nuclear capability.
Well, Go ahead. And with Gaddafi, he was put in power by the United States. So was Saddam. So was Assad in Syria. These people were in place and used until they were no longer needed. So yet again, foreign interventions, foreign policy creates conflict, creates intervention, which gets escalated, which creates more intervention, which gets escalated. It's the perpetual motion of the military-industrial complex, which is so sewn into our economy. But what can you do, man? I've been talking with people about this for years. You have to follow the documentation of what our government is doing. You have to actually go to the first-hand sources. I really appreciate you having me on. I gotta run. Enjoy your show, man. I hope the shadow ban goes away, and keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Hey, man, appreciate that, man. Hey, look, man, as long as people pull up and support, I ain't got no problems. But shout out to my man, Lunatic Libertarian, man. Appreciate you, dog.
All right, man. Peace. Everybody stay free and peace.
All right, man. Shout out to my man, Lunatic Libertarian. Make sure you guys follow him on his YouTube channel. He has one as well. The Lunatic Libertarian is where you can find him. All right, let's get back into our guys, Sean Ryan and Joe Kent.
He invaded and regime changed at any given time. They saw the Saddam route. If they actually pursued a weapon,
not going outside of that deal. Well, even before, I'm being real with you, even before we knew that Iran wasn't making a bomb, and they've shown proof of it since 2004, since the Ayatollah made their religious law, the fatwa, pretty much saying that we won't make a bomb. It's inhumane. It's a crime against God. Now, ever since that time, we've pretty much had our eyes on them, seeing if they were going to do so, and they didn't. And even when we were scared of them possibly doing so, Obama was able to put them under the JCPOA. Now, I know a lot of people want to quote, but the IAEA said that they violated it. Well, if you actually look at the timeline correctly, you would see in 2018, that's when we withdrew from that JCPOA and put back on the sanction in Iran. And then in 2021, that's when the IAEA made that report saying that, yeah, they're operating outside of the deal because America pulled out and invoked the sanctions back on. So that's the real story of it. This conflict with Iran, if they didn't know that we were going to back them up. Shoot, actually, Israel wouldn't do half of the shit they do in the Middle East if they didn't know, if we didn't back them up and if we didn't fund them. That's the problem with Israel. It's like they're really acting emboldened or ever so bold is because they have the backing of the United States and they have a whole bunch of politicians who's willing to crash out for Israel. And I mean, shoot, if you don't believe me, I mean, bro, believe the politicians. They literally say it to your face. I mean, bro, don't worry. I got a video for you. You're going like, Set, come on now. You're tripping. They're not just out here shaking pom-poms for Israel, talk about how much they support it. Come on, Set. We're talking about American politicians. I know, right? We are, but check this out.
Forget it. I'm not with you. I'm with Israel. I will be with Israel to our dying day.
If you enjoy having a cell phone, thank Israel for that.
I came into Congress 13 years ago with the stated intention of being the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. And I've worked every day to do that.
Were there not an Israel, the United States of America would have to invent an Israel.
Does that mean I think we should put the interests of America over Israel? No.
It's one of the most important things I do, to watch, be the guardian of Israel.
Israel today, Israel tomorrow, Israel forever. God bless you. Stand with me, with Israel, with our allies.
There is no Palestinian state, no matter how many papers they put out.
Our prayer is that America will always stand with Israel.
I have said to people when they ask me if this capital crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. And I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel.
It is up to Israel, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys.
Israel is our greatest ally. So to our allies in Israel and to the Jewish people around the world, my message to you is this.
Guys, look, I'm going to say this up front. You know, I don't hate Jews. I don't hate Israelis. But guys, when you're sitting there trying to call us anti-Semitic, trying to say that, oh, no, don't believe your lying eyes. Yeah, I'm only going to go harder. I'm only going to press harder on the topic. Yes. A lot of our politicians, I think, in my personal belief, they're more loyal to Israel than they are to the United States. And that's saying something. But all right, though, back to our guy, Joe Kent.
At conducting, I'd say, like, we're not going to have a pro.
You know, I've actually talked to Iranians about, you know, the Iranians who live in Iran about that guy. And then I've also heard Myron Gaines talk to these guys as well. And yeah, I ain't gonna lie, we took out somebody that they truly loved. And it's kind of funny because I heard the same thing that Myron Gaines heard from an Iranian, that the Ayatollah and the government, like their president and all this good stuff, they're seen as separate. Like I said, the Ayatollah is seen as the Pope and the government is seen, well, as the government. So when these guys were protesting against the government, that didn't mean that they were protesting against the supreme leader. And I mean, and like I say, they in their eyes, I'm talking about guys who support the regime. In their eyes, the supreme leader could do no wrong, and they were go ahead and protesting their government because they believe that their government's corrupt, their government's stealing money, even though the government's picked by the Ayatollah. I'm not sure how they didn't make that connection, but it is what it is, though. This is what the Iranian people see their politics to be, is that the Ayatollah is separate from the government. Therefore, them protesting the government didn't mean that they're protesting the Ayatollah. I mean, really, if you really want to talk to some Iranians in Iran, bro, just go on X. I mean, go on one of these spaces, and they're all over there. They're all in these spaces, especially if you find a topic on the Iran war. Go there, and there's always somebody from Iran on those panels, always.
In between the IRGC and the IRGC, it's full of pipe hitters, man. I mean, it's the guys who fought the Iraq-Iran war. They fought.
Honestly, look. Honestly, you can find a pro called Manny Post and go under there and strike up a conversation with them, like instantly. Just ask them a question, like, "Why you support this guy? What's up?" And they'll tell you. Like they're literally open as hell. They'll sit there and tell you, it ain't a secret.
And Iraq actions on why
I'm like, come on now, the hostage crisis, let's be real. Like we were, I know, no, let me not say that. Let's be real here. Iran made a demand, and it was a reasonable one, but we just didn't want to abide by it. They had two reasonable demands. One, let us govern ourselves and let us nationalize our oil so we can have a better deal from ourselves, and you and Britain stop stealing from us. And then two, give us the Shah because, you know, we want to hold him. They want to put him on trial and most likely execute the man. And, you know, the Shah was sick at the time and we didn't want to give him up. And we didn't want to give them, you know, rights to their own oil. So this is what caused the hostage crisis, because this is when they stormed the embassy after we said no to all of their demands. And then they end up holding hostages, which was pretty much leverage so they can get some of their demands met. Did it really work? Not really. Eventually, I mean, it worked eventually. It was looked really bad on Jimmy Carter, but in the moments, it was looking pretty bleak. Like we did not actually know if we were going to get the hostages back. But I mean, the black guys and the women were released.
Would be starting a war with
Free
Iran.
Seeing any protests. That's why even the Kurds.
And I did say this. It was like as time was going on, the younger generation had more and more of a disdain for the government, and eventually it was going to happen naturally. I mean, especially with the sanctions and pretty much the tanking of their currency that we pretty much did. So if we'd have just left all that in place and we played the long game, we'd have got that regime change that we wanted. But for some reason, we wanted to speed things up, try to bomb the shit out of them. And now we created a rally around the flag event. And now all the hardliners are pretty much taking key positions in the government. Like, what was it? The guy that was their head of defense. Like, yeah, when we took that guy out, that was a moderate. That was a guy that actually wanted to talk to the U.S. Israel killed him. And now they got an ex-IRGC commander. You think that guy want to talk to us? I mean, Khomeini, he was a moderator, believe it or not, wanting to talk to the United States. We blew him, his wife, and his daughter and his granddaughter up. And now his son's in there. Now he's running off the revenge trail of you killed my dad. Well, you killed my mom, my dad, and my daughter. So, I mean, you think we're going to work too well with him either? I mean, that's honestly, this is one of the reasons why I said, yeah, I ain't glad we need to kill the other guy too. I don't like the fact that we killed the first guy. We should have took him captive. But I mean, since we already did, we might as well keep going because the next guy is not so good. And I don't even think we can get worse than him at this point. I gotta address this dumbass argument. I'm sorry, but there's literally people who's trying to say, oh, well, you know, it's wrong for him to come out here and talk against Trump. He was serving at the pleasure of the president. I'm sorry, but you know we can't use that argument, right? Because we were the main ones criticizing how those who were working at the pleasure of the president, Biden, did not come out and speak out against Biden's health being bad. Like we were the same people judging people who were working at the pleasure of the president for not coming out and exposing him for that. Now we're gonna sit there and say that, oh well, honestly, yeah, they were doing the right thing. Yeah, they should have had the president's help from the rest of us. Yeah, that was all right. Just like Joe Kent should have had. He should have held his ideas or he should have hidden them or just kept them to himself. Why? Because he works at the pleasure of the president. I mean, all right then, shut the F up about Biden's health problems and the Dems covering up for Biden if that's how y'all feel. Because they were just doing their job, working at the pleasure of the president. So, who are we to judge them then? If that's the argument you're going to use for Joe Kent, he's working at the pleasure of the president, so he's not allowed to speak out against the president. Y'all, bro, the hypocrisy is crazy. Bro, do we really need to go through who Joe Kent actually is? Because here's the problem, though. When you pull out his bio and all this good stuff, it's really hard to sit there and say that, oh, you know, what you mean? Because Trump said he was bad on security, or oh, what did he know? Well, I mean, the head of counterterrorism, shout out to this guy Joe Kent, but yeah, former head of counterterrorism, and let's just go down to the bottom here. I mean, chief warrant officer. I mean, let's see here, 75th Ranger Regiment, Army Special Forces. So, I mean, bro, well, tell me, what have you done to know more than Joe Kent? That's what I want to know. What has Lindsey Graham done to know more than Joe Kent? What have Mark Levin done to know more than Joe Kent? I just want to know. Because y'all just act like y'all know more than this guy here who worked for Army Special Forces, who worked for intelligence support, also known various times as mission support. So he knows what's going on the ground. And Special Activities Center is the center of the United States Central Intelligence Agency, aka bro is basically CIA, responsible for covert operations. So I'm sorry, but can you name somebody with better credentials that's speaking against Joe Kent? Because it ain't Dan Bongino. I know that. Like, please, it ain't him.
Career bureaucrats.
This is the problem.
And then you got a guy like you in there with tons of experience.
Me got to spend their time grilling the Mark Levin, Lindsey Graham's, Ted Cruz. Yeah, I got to spend my time grilling these guys and putting it out to the world. The bigger creators got to spend their time seeing if they can get these guys in an interview and grilling them like Tucker Carlson did to Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee. It's like, we got to low-key expose these guys and how they don't want the best for America. They just want the best for Israel. And we got to realize that, this done turned away from America and then it turned into doing what's best for Israel instead of doing what's best for America. Because I'm sorry, but you cannot look at any of the results going on right now and say that this is what's the best for America. I mean, what was it? Somebody in my comments was just like, how is blowing up Iran's weapons defense system? How is that not helping Americans? I mean, bro, can you tell me how the average American, like, what benefit do we get from blowing up weapon systems that can't reach us? Because I could tell you what we spend on it for sure. I know what we spend on it, but can you tell what benefit did we get from blowing that up? And don't say safety, because like I said, it was never able to reach us. Like Joe Kent said and Tulsi Gabbard said, well, last year, Iran is not an imminent threat.
We'll take this as a call to action.
One that activated
the sleeper cells are the most scariest ones because those are bro, I'm gonna be real with you. Like, if Iran has sleeper cells, then you might want to look at every Iranian you ever known with the side eye, because they make them speak perfect English. They raise them in the ways of, American culture. You can't even really tell the difference between, an American and them, to be quite honest with you. Like, they watch television, and in Tehran, by the way, they literally raise these guys to be Americans in their country like Russia does, and then they send them over here. And I'm not really sure if Iran has that, to be honest. I know Russia has sleeper cells for sure. They have whole training facilities just meant to raise these sleeper cells like Americans and send them over here and ready to pop them off at a moment's notice. Like, it's absolutely insane how these sleeper cells work. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it here, guys, and close on out, man. I'm gonna leave out with a word from our sponsor, but let's not forget to double tap that screen and like the video, guys. Let's help beat the shadow ban by showing engagement, and make sure to subscribe to the channel because I do this every night, and I'll be back later on today, sometime tonight. All right, I'll go ahead and post it so you'll know before I go on, but make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe on your way out. Appreciate support. This is Set with Set Media. Peace. Yo, this is Set with Set Media, man. I'm here to talk to you about our partner, Kalshi. Kalshi is the largest legal prediction market in the United States with over 1 million users. It's available in all 50 states. They are a real money market. People trading on what they think will happen. You can build a position and trade in and out of almost any prediction you think. Kalshi facilitates trade between people, kind of like the stock market. There's no limiting your trades just because you're winning. Kalshi will pay you interest on your position. So if you make a long-term trade, you can earn a return even before the market is resolved. If you want to try out Kalshi, go ahead and give them a try, guys, at my link, kalshi.com/setmedia. Get $20 when you trade 20, so it's 20 for 20, guys. Once again, that's kalshi.com/setmedia. Go ahead and use my code setmedia to get $20 when you trade 20. Let's go ahead and take a look here at Kalshi, because like I said, it is a trading market where you can put in your prediction and you can go ahead and earn interest on that. You can make money off the knowledge that you know, and if you put $20 in, you get $20 back. So all right, guys, make sure to go check out my guy Kalshi, because you can get in on good trades like who Trump nominated as Fed chair, Will Ali Khamenei be outed as the supreme leader? And will the U.S. confirm that aliens exist before 2027? So if you want to get in on this action, once again, go ahead and go to my partners at Kalshi. Go ahead and use the link, or you can hit the QR code above and use S.E.T Media to go ahead and get $20 when you trade 20. This is S.E.T from S.E.T Media, and shout out to Kalshi.